hope your front door is locked and your phone is switched off. It's match time, and nothing can come in the way of a head coach and his Blood Bowl.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome back to the Sage streaming Blood Bowl 2. Over here on Discord, I'm joined by One30. Hello.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for dropping on. I hope you're you're in an okay spot right now.
Yeah, although there's a possibility that they're going to change the evacuation notices this evening, but it shouldn't come into play in the next couple hours.
Okay. Well, good luck with that if it becomes relevant. 130 lives in San Diego, and they're dealing with some interesting environmental hazards at the moment. So, the matchup that we've got planned for tonight is a Lizards versus Necro matchup. And let's see. The team I'm supposed to be playing is the team that we actually made for the Rookie League, the Master and Apprentice series, which is kind of cool because I've been using it for teaching a lot. 1740 versus 1830. Huh. Would you like to play with or without a wizard?
Go ahead and do the inducements.
Alright. Let's see. So we're going to set this to 4 minutes, and I have exactly enough to get a wizard if I would wish to. Depends. I mean, you said that you wanted to focus mostly on your offense. Is that right?
Yes. It's kind of been the weakest part of my game. But also playing against wizards, I find is happening more and more frequently at higher level divisions within the league. So I don't mind that at all. Actually,
okay,
that sounds like good practice.
It's definitely it definitely changes the way you handle your offense. So if you think that's interesting, then that's what we're gonna do. Okay. So I've set the timer for 4 minutes, which should give us enough time to talk things over. Is there anything aside from your offense that you would like to focus on?
Keep an eye out, I guess, for any bad habits that you might see. But I'm always open to to criticism, especially during this.
So, for reference to everyone out there watching, 130 is an experienced coach. He was in the playoffs with this team of the Rebel. You're playing in Rel 1, is that right?
Correct.
Yeah. So this is the first time that I've had a teaching game against someone who's already been doing very well for himself in League. So it should be an interesting experience for both of us. Now watch me get completely outplayed. Well, since you wish to focus on offense, I'm going to go ahead and kick first. See how that goes. Let's have a look at your team. I remember pegging it as one of my favorites to actually make it to the final. Let's see how much has changed.
I just had a developed Saurus die a couple days ago, so that was another block Mighty Blow Guard stand firm.
Okay. Yeah,
though I got a blodge skink out of it.
That's nice. That's good. Yeah, blodge movement, sprint, sure feet skink even. Nice, nice. Oh, and another blodge I see. So, the one thing I notice is that you chose not to take blodge on your Saurus, or at least you don't have blodge on your Saurus. Is that by choice?
They, aside from Joe Dirt, they really haven't rolled much in the way of doubles.
Yeah, and if you already have Mighty Blow piling on, then jump up kind of makes sense. Although with Agility 1, yeah.
I use it mostly, unless I'm being really silly, mostly just so that he has full blitz distance even after doing the piling on.
Yeah, exactly. So not the jump up block so much as the extra movement.
I figure if I can afford to risk the 4+ jump up roll, then I'm already far enough ahead that the punch doesn't matter.
So let's see, what do we put on the line? Are we just going to put 3 dirty players there? Because I have 3 of them, right? Yeah, that sounds like a plan. Because that lets us field a full contingent. That way I'm pretty likely to have some left for you. Something like this, I suppose. So, in this situation, would you be looking for a quick score or trying to get a safe stall?
Well, I know the werewolves can pretty reliably two-turn, but until the casualties start swinging the game one direction or the other, my default would probably be just to take my time with it.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
At least so that's how I've played so far, but that doesn't always work.
Typically, if you can stall, it's the better answer. Although with the amount of bash you might face here, it could very well be tricky because you've only got one bench, and I've got 3 dirty players and a bunch of bench, so that could be a problem. I find myself that when playing lizards, obviously claw is scary, but well-placed gang files can also be a big problem because any Saurus removal, even if you have skink bench, is going to cut down your ability to act.
Agreed.
I consider your team to be very lean on guard as well, by the way. Is that because
it is very lean on guard because all my doubles either showed up on the Croxagore or on the skinks. And, well, at least with the Croxagore, I didn't get guard early on, mostly because with block as the first skill, I wanted to use him a bit more offensively. And so chose grab so that even if it was just a push, if I needed to continue to lock down a target, I'd still be able to control that. And it's come in handy for a couple one-turn attempts. Yeah,
for the one turn, I definitely see it. But I think, so you have 1 guard on your entire team? Personally, for lizards, I usually focus 1 break tackle, who would also get tackle, just to have something to bust a cage if needed, or to blitz that pesky dodger somewhere. But I prefer having a bunch more guard over having multiple break tackles. Okay. Ooh, protecting the one turn.
The break tackle on Blanky was a fairly recent level. At which point I already had 2 guard and figured I could go for a second blitzer safety.
Well, it does synergize very well with the tackle. That's true. The thing is, I feel like lizards aren't done until you have 7 guard on them, basically. Not
the
that
control game isn't one until you definitely control the control game.
Yeah, the thing is, it gets better the more you have of it, because once you've got like 4 or 5 of them, the opponent will have a hard time removing the first, which adds to the value of all the others, because they kind of synergize with each other. So, yeah, setup-wise, I'd mostly be looking for damage. Obviously, you want to make sure that wherever the ball goes, you protect it a little before you start dealing out all the punches. I would be relatively careful with piling on, because you know that I've got 3 dirty players right now. And,
even without DP, you have plenty of zombies to risk.
Yeah, exactly. So keeping those tied up with the Crocs is definitely not a bad idea. But still, I would be hesitant. For example, if you knock down a fleshy with the piling on dude, if you're not sure you can get that area safe, I would probably choose not to pile on and simply back up and try again next turn.
I can understand that.
No sure hands, right? No agility. Yeah, no. The tricky thing with keeping your one-turner safe is, of course, that you have to go on offense first. If you could go on defense first, then you'd be guaranteed to have the one-turner on turn 8. And now you just have to hope he's still alive by turn 16. Oh, that's convenient.
More than a little.
Yeah.
Especially after that incomplete setup. Okay.
What I would like to do, if I were you, is form a bit of a wide-ish cage. Because a simple X cage against the fireball can be devastating.
Yeah, you could still get it scattering free.
Yeah. If you make sure that there's like no more than 3 or 4 players in that X, while still covering the other squares with people who are outside of the fireball centered on the ball carrier, you mitigate that risk a little bit without giving up too much of a sacking option. So since you're gonna be fairly centered on the middle, and you're not super eager for for advancement on turn 1, since you're hoping not for a quick score but for a stall if possible, I wouldn't mind keeping the skink right where he is.
Just reinforcing around.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, Calf, this is quite the contrast from our previous teaching game. Absolutely. Yeah, so for example, that guy, I would already put him 1 square out, because it doesn't really open you up, but if I decide to fireball somewhere down the line, then you're still a little bit safer from it. Just reduce my temptation. Stuff like that. Because I'm not going to blitz in there from that side, but if I do fireball, then you have less to worry about. Also, I noticed that your blocks on the line of scrimmage are not set up to be all diagonal.
Yeah, it was a little incomplete at the end.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, lots of talking in 4-minute turns. It's a thing.
So I can't get a clean, just block them all, step to the left, and keep it going.
Well, you could if you say start with a 3-die from the Crocs, but ideally you don't start with that. Then again, he has block, so it's not that bad. And yes, the skinks are the tiny ones. It might be worth doing the blitz before the other blocks, because then you'll be able to do the 3-die with the Crocs.
Fair.
Because otherwise you don't really have someone who's ideally placed to assist that. It is a nice Crocs, absolutely. Block and pro. Now, personally, I'm very much of the try and get Blodge on all the Saurus variety. And for that reason, I would have picked Dodge on the second doubles. But I can definitely see the value of pro as well. And if you don't plan to spam Dodge on the Saurus either, then pro actually makes more sense on the Crocs. Ooh. Well.
Yeah.
Yeah, not
I
worth
wasn't
the real
positioned
option.
great where I should have done this with Blanky instead, where I could have still used break tackle.
Yeah, not so sure.
I think that means I'll be following up when my guard hits the DP zombie in front of him.
Well,
just to try and help reinforce.
Yeah. Yeah, in that case you might want to consider bringing Blanky around. Yeah. Also, the thing to really worry about, of course, is my ability to damage your hardest hitter.
Yep.
Ooh, that's ugly. This is where pro is good value, just not right now. So.
Ooh. This wound up being kind of convenient.
Oh, the stand firm. Ah, that's kind of nice. Yeah, I can see that. Still doesn't leave me too much of a gap. Now this could already be a fireball with those 3 plus the ball, but I don't think I will. But yeah, getting that guard in there is definitely potentially very helpful.
It at least might redirect where some of the punishments are going to go.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I don't mind that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get the highest value punch I can, which would be a blitz here. So suppose we're there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just seeing how far I can push this. So first off, let's see if we can kill the, knock down that guy. Nope, stand firm is a pain. Alright, so where does that leave us? Let's cover you up a bit. Yeah, it's a tricky one. It's a tricky one. Because I could 2-die the stand firm, but that would leave me pretty exposed to Joe Dirt there. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, works.
I might as well forfeit the stand firm just to draw.
Yeah, I definitely would, because otherwise I might try and 3+ dodge out, and now I can't do that. So,
ooh, nice one.
Yeah, well, this isn't. Yes, it's bad. You're losing a Saurus, but he's okay for second half. It's not a
casualty. Yeah.
And more importantly, you've now got the thing you need the most, which is a good punch against my Claw Wolf, because he got stuck there. Okay, he's not fouling. He's not doing anything much. Now that I've gotten my wolf in trouble, I am going to go and get the other one saved, so that at least I have 1 claw remaining. So yeah, top priority is kill the claw, right?
Yeah, which has always been the part that I've somehow strangely found the hardest.
Well,
the wolves
you've got a
refuse
guy.
to die.
You've got a guy perfectly positioned for it. Just need an assist in there.
Yeah, worst case, chain push him into a spot where Blinky can hit him, and if that doesn't work, have to use the Crux.
Namto asked what I would have done if I didn't get the knockdown. I would have rerolled that before getting stuck in the 1-die. Yes.
I really want to bring one of my skinks around for the assist on the werewolf.
Why not a Saurus?
Just left me feeling, well, then I'm going to have to move the ball over to the left anyway, too.
Did you forget a skink in the backfield, by the way?
Entirely.
Okay, good. You have 4. I've been there, honestly. I mean, the whole zooming in and out thing. Yeah, it looks like a fair enough spot. So, I mean, the Blocksaurus could assist without opening you up too much. And
yeah,
yes, the chain next to Blanky is definitely worth doing. If
before moving the ball?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a risky play.
Nah. It's not risky until quad skulls show up.
True, but the ball isn't directly threatened right now.
Fair.
Wow, Ninja Britman. In tabletop, that's a bit more surprising. Well, definitely get an extra punch out of there. Oh, so... Ooh, that's an impressive KO. That should be super helpful. This also means you go from I might be willing to score early to I pretty much want to prevent scoring early at all costs. right? Because the playing field has changed so much for you.
I want to get my money's worth out of that wolf being knocked out.
Exactly. If you score on turn 3 here, you might go into the second half with 3 fewer players than if you score on turn 8. That's huge. So not having sidestep on the ball carrier is a bit of an issue, but I don't think it's worth actually switching carriers for. Your left flank now looks like a pretty solid position to go to. Yeah, that's roughly the spot I had in mind. And covering the square to his left front, the sidestepper makes the most sense because there's a wolf nearby. If you go there with the Saurus, that might be scary. Yeah. Now you do have one issue, which is your Break Tackler kind of wants to block my Fleshy, I guess?
Yeah, though I was looking at the Tackle Saurus going after the Ghoul first.
Right, because you still have your Blitz. Yeah, so that's definitely something you want to figure out. Do I still need the sidestepper there if the Tackle Saurus does that? And I think you do. So that makes a lot of sense.
Does make it more tempting because now I have more concentration for a fireball target.
True. But you can space those out a little. You can move forward after the Blitz. That way you screen off. So basically the skink forms part of the direct cage, which you need against the sack. And the actual screen around the cage helps protect you from the fireball. So yeah, that looks like a good Blitz. Yeah, that works. That adds to the screen. So really what you're doing is you're making sure that A, I don't have a super attractive fireball, and B, if I do fireball or even if I lightning bolt, you still have enough around the ball to make sure that I can't really capitalize.
That's
now, in addition, I've got most of my players on the other side,
and that helps a lot.
Yeah, that's a good question from Namto. You blocked me down, the wolf, and then you chose not to follow up, leaving you without the option of piling on.
It would have left me right next to the DP zombie and both of the guard fleshies. I just wasn't willing to commit that much.
Yeah, I mean, he's saying, well, you could have probably handled the 3 players, but I'm not so sure if that's the case. I mean, if I do one good blitz and I get rid of him, then that's a real problem for you, I think. Okay. So far, so good. Now, you do have your second best Saurus fairly exposed, but you're not really going to be able to fix that. This just looks like a Croc's block to me.
Because I've got...
Yeah, because you've got block and stuff. Now, the question is, do you want to get next to those 2 DPs? I don't think you do.
I don't need to tie them down yet.
Yeah. I mean, yes, it makes it harder for me to give you a hard time there with the dirty players, but it also gets you stuck. Yeah, I think he's actually not awful there. I mean, at least I'm not quite likely to blitz that Crocs, but it is a marvelous one, and losing him would suck. So obviously I'm looking at targeting your break tackle mighty blow, and I think I see a spot that works for me, which would be here. So let's move on up.
I could have kept him back maybe a little bit.
Yeah,
but
just
not
one
by too
square.
much,
Yeah.
because I wouldn't want to risk you having a prime surf target.
Yep, absolutely. Frenzy doing a thing. Claw, not so much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, will be needing 2 GFIs to get here. And do I want to expose that wolf for an assist? Not really. So we'd go here.
assist on what? Which part were you looking at?
Oh, I'm definitely fouling that break tackle
yes.
guy. Just wondering whether the assist from the wolf is worth keeping him on that exposed flank, and I've decided the answer is no.
Going for gold.
Yep, absolutely. Oh well, I'm making things a little bit too easy for you here, I think.
I've been getting a lot of really fortunate removals.
Mm-hmm. So, obvious things being obvious, you have room for a cage, but worry about the surf. My agility 4 still being on the wrong flank is actually kind of helpful to you.
Would you see this as the time to push forwards and just lock down that left side from my perspective, or would you take some time and wait more till towards turn 5?
Yeah, I think I would be moving forwards here. You've got such a strong position there. I would be looking at a blitz from the Mighty Blow piling on Saurus against the fleshy in the back row there. Because you've got a hit on the first fleshy. Wait, that's the Mighty Blow piling on, right? Yeah, you could just do this block directly, I suppose. That's not bad either. And then blitz with whoever. Yeah, no, that's probably more sensible.
I wouldn't mind blitzing your remaining tackle piece.
Yeah, true. I usually don't worry about my skinks all that much. I worry a lot more about my Saurus. So
fair.
But yeah, it is a Mighty Blow blitz, so that's fair enough. I would definitely start with the block from the Pomer on the fleshy, because then you know where you stand, you know where the tackle zones are.
Okay, makes sense.
Yep. Not on the armor. If this were a stun, especially one with Mighty Blow left, yeah. So what I often do when I'm up against Frenzy is I make a kind of triangular sideline cage, so like a double layered one. So your normal sideline cage would be 3 players, right?
Yep.
And then I would just extend those 2 corners by 1 square. And then with my most armored players on the outside. So for example, if your block guy goes forward by 6 squares, then you would have... yeah. Something like that. And then the diagonals towards the 8-meter line. Yeah, there. That's where the bulk area would go. Again, the fireball does make that relatively safe. Or that makes you relatively safe from the fireball, I suppose. Because your cage is wider than a standard X cage. A lightning bolt going out of bounds is scary, but it's not something I can really rely on.
Would you use the Crocs to tie these 2 up at this point?
You'd want to bring a friend, because that white is strength 4, so I could just 1-die you.
Yep.
You don't have stun for him either.
Should hurry.
Oh yes, that too. So the blitz against the tackler looks fine, but definitely move your carrier and everyone around it. So I could still choose to fireball that, but then I only have 3 players directly in my ball, and removing only one of the 2 that isn't the carrier will not be enough to to expose you. So I think this works. And you've even got the center semi-covered as well. I think this is relative... yeah,
no.
That's better. Because otherwise, if I remove the 2 that aren't the carrier, I've got a surf. Yep. Still do, I suppose. Let's see what happens after the blitz, though.
Kind of debating about. No, I don't want to follow that into the fleshy yet. Why give you a free hit?
Now you might want to consolidate. Yes, it's adding to the fireball, but getting surfed is also no fun.
Yeah.
And time is definitely a factor. Good. Clicking all the things. Yeah, this doesn't look bad. Because at least now if I fireball this and I get the wrong combination of guys, I don't think I can afford not to fireball here. But my agile players are way far away, so this might just be
though there is ooh. And well, that was part of I was just noticing that my rookie source came over a little too far, so that your agility goal is now in a wonderful position.
Ouch. Well, this is why you don't sideline cage against the wizard.
True. Although at least I have a couple of skinks in range.
Yeah.
Well, ouch. At least the block skink.
Hmm. Yeah, that hurts.
Yeah, that didn't help. And at this point, you want to score as fast as possible just to get even men back on the field.
No. 3, 4,
depending
5, 6,
on
7,
how
8.
much pressure I can put.
Oh, I can't get that ball, can I? That's annoying. It's just one square too far. Okay, that changes things a little bit. You can get that far, of course. Do the first one, see whether we need a GFI. Okay. Yeah, I give great advice. Now, to be fair, the 3 out of 8 bounce out is not something you can rely on, of course.
No, but it was something that came to mind of it could have been a lightning target and then them hoping for that scatter.
Yeah. Thing is, usually if you're up against wizard, if people are willing to bet on that 3 out of 8, then you're already that's not good. Then you're already kind of where you want to be. Because it means their chance of actually getting to capitalize on the wizard is not that high. Considering I have an agility 4 ghoul, I should have better odds. Now, okay, the block guy's nice and all. I think what I try to do is actually use the block guy to get a knockdown on that ghoul. So yeah, marking that's solid. Definitely do that.
Okay.
But I wouldn't be blitzing with the Saurus. I just use this because you have the Saurus standing behind the Crocs, who has ability to. Yeah, that works.
And then the assist, and I can make it a 2-die.
Exactly, and then I'd make the assist from the other side, so that you can actually so that you can actually trap him in between, exactly. So even if it's just a push, he doesn't get an easy blitz out at you. You'll definitely want to mark the wolf too, though, as you planned before with the big tackle guy.
Yeah. Or the werewolf, you mean?
Yeah, because if you fail the pickup, that werewolf is able to act on it way too much. And I don't have the manpower for that claw to be super scary. Question is, where do you need the next guys most? Now, you've got 4 turns after this, so you're not in a super big hurry. And I would say pulling them back right now doesn't hurt you that much. You got the wizard out. It didn't go as poorly as you thought, so I would be pulling them back before you make the blitz. Because if you make the blitz and you fail the pickup, or you fail the blitz somehow, then you're in a lot of trouble and you actually want the backup. If it turns out you don't need it that much, that's fine. You still got 4 turns. That's a lot for lizards. Especially lizards who outnumber their opponents. Yeah. Yeah, I just send him back as a blitzer.
Oh, to send Blanky back as well?
Yeah. There's 4 turns is so much time, and you've got plenty of control. So I would just send him back to reinforce the part where things are scary right now. Say that my ghoul runs off, for example, then you still want to have a way of getting at him.
Sure.
And that break tackle guy is an ideal candidate for that, of course.
That'll work.
Yeah, not trapped, but down is good. And out is... what ghouls?
Are you giving me all your streamer dice?
Clearly. I might have been tempted to actually make the GFI for the pickup there. Because it's your blodge anyway. Oh, no. What?
No love. I greeted that.
Oh, it is a good damage to do. Worth blocking with the Crocs? Yeah.
I'm only holding a zombie, so I don't
exactly.
forfeit a lot.
Yeah, and you have block, and you have pro, so... that works just fine. So I've got 3 players, pretty much. Pretty dire straits, these. Alright, you're gonna tie up that guy. And we're gonna do some magic.
Oh boy!
That's not a POW.
I assume you don't want to scatter it at this point.
No. I mean, if this is a POW, then it's clear. If this is a push, then it's clear. So scattering is only going to bring me bad things. Yeah, that's a good puppy. So biggest problem is that guy. So this is also why having your break tackle as a backup in the backfield is not a bad idea, right? If I go here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't really escape that guy, though. That's a problem.
Oh, the break tackle block Saurus?
Yes, exactly. If I had some more range, I guess I could try and stick in there. Yeah, let's try that.
Nice.
Yeah, well, we make do. Because if I'm here, then you just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If I'm here, it's 1 extra GFI. That's not good.
But if you had positioned 1 square further forward, I could have been able to clear him off with the rookie source, perhaps.
Yeah. Yeah, at least now I'm not getting chain pushed into the rookie if you push on the first one. So first thing I would do here, let's count the squares, is I would put the sidestepper next to the wolf. Just to have a bit more control over what's going on there. Because yes, you're going to blitz it, but if that fails, you want me to at least not be able to run it in just like that.
And with that wolf not having tackle or block yet, the sidestep dodge is pretty useful.
Yeah, although since he has frenzy, the sidestep doesn't matter that much, because I'm forced to follow up anyway. So I can't blitz myself free even if it's push.
Right, it lets me at least... It gives me the chance to lure you into something else if you choose to blitz him.
So, 2 options would be to dodge out there, or to just block with him, and then use the other break tackle. But if it's a both down, then you're kind of screwed. So I wouldn't risk that. That means your other break tackle might actually tie these guys up. Or assist the potential block on the strength 4. I think that's the best. So you plan for... Yeah, exactly. Because then your Saurus can block the strength 4 at the end of your turn. And thus tie up the tackle white. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
And...
That skink, I would use him to tie up the fleshy. Because the fleshy is prone. He's not going to harm you, but he might inconvenience you later. So just get next to him, something like that. Yeah, that's next to the Crocs is fine too. I think that makes a lot of sense. It gives you potential without risk. Now, the high damage hit first, I guess. Because, well, it's less risky. And in this case, I would pile on... Definitely pile on a stun. Yeah, absolutely. The thing is, you don't really need his position right now. That still means you've got the block
guy back
free.
as a fallback.
Yes. Yeah, and to mark the tackle white. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
At this point, though, I think if I manage to get that ball loose, it'd be easiest to start going up my right side. So yeah, I could move here to prevent you from swinging back around.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes... yeah, you're not... Yeah, that's fine. This works. Right, time for the blitz. So 1 dodge, 1 GFI, and a 2-die with block.
What could go wrong?
Looks sensible. Don't say that. Whenever I say stuff like 6, 6, 5, 6, I see. Yeah. This could have been a strength 2, agility 1 blitzing, and it would have worked. Right. GFI not worth it, I'd say. You'd rather save the reroll for the pickup?
Yeah. And I need to do that pickup before I do the, I guess, vanity block on your white.
Yeah.
But now I don't have a great spot to go to except for... Nah. Actually, I'd probably just stay there, not even touch the white.
I would at least go somewhere. I would go somewhere that if the wolf blitzes you, he blitzes 2 die into 1 die. So, say next to the sidestep skink. Not there, because then the tackle white can get you. So, on the other corner. No, just to the right. Now I don't have to dodge, so 1 square back from there. Because there, still have to dodge with the wolf, but the white can't reach you. And if I blitz you, it's 2 die into 1 die.
Fair. I see it. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Neat.
Block is worth it, I'd say. Ooh, sorry, your connection broke up for a moment. Or mine, but, yeah. Something was wonky. Anyway.
You were... Would you just stay in contact with the rookie source?
I'm pretty sure I heard Rookie Saurus, but that was about all I heard.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Would you risk the block?
Yes. And
you were right.
Well, no, the outcome was fortunate. It's not the same. Yeah, robots indeed.
I know. I've heard Full Metal lecture people about that. I think I still want to stay back here, though, just to, if you do dodge out, to make you go the long way around.
Agreed. Absolutely. Also, you don't need 2 people to tie up that strength 4. And if I make those dodges, and if I do something in the backfield, you've got this Saurus free to reposition. So... not a lot of good stuff here for me, I'm afraid. it even worth getting him up? I suppose so. So he's not reaching that. Yeah, see, that's why your current spot is good, because this white needs to not be able to reach you with tackle. And, I mean, yeah, unless he goes 5+1 die, he's not reaching you. Which means I'm kind of gonna have to resort on a POW here. And I still need the 3+ dodge to get that POW. Yes, that POW. Good, good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Interesting.
That was one of the better scatters I could have hoped for.
Oh, that helps you a lot. That was very, very important. Getting that tackler off of you. Or keeping him. So... right now, your biggest concern becomes time. Right? You've got a lot of control over the backfield. But you're going to want to make sure that you also have something to go forward with. Suppose you fail to pick up this turn. You want to make sure you can still score without too much hassle. So I would be putting actually the one skink that can move freely, so the blood skink, I would probably be moving him forward already. Sounds a bit counterintuitive because the ball's not there yet. But suppose things go to shit. You want to make sure that you've still got the option for scoring 2 turns later.
Right. I also have the other one by the fleshy.
Yeah, but if I both down him and he gets KO'd and you don't have someone forward, then you're pretty much not scoring.
Oh, fair. So I just mean redundancy.
Yeah, exactly. Because he's not safe since he's next to the fleshy. Question is, can you get safe with the ball if you only have one skink? And the answer is yes. Because you're going to block yourself free from the strength 4. And then you're going to have 3 more Saurus to reinforce. So I think you can afford to stand up that skink in case the pickup fails, right? The rookie in the back.
Okay.
Because that way you're a bit safer around that area if the pickup fails. And if it succeeds, then you're still doing good.
As opposed to bringing the free Saurus down?
Yeah, that could have worked too.
Okay.
I would have rather brought the Saurus with me forward. So I was thinking of a cage where the blodge guy, the blodge skink, is actually the front corner of your cage, and the Saurus toaster would blitz and then form one of the back corners, and then the sidestepper can just pick up and go in there.
Okay. I figure before I do that, I could decide where the Palmer is going to go.
Palmer... Oh, sorry, yeah.
Just planning there for later, maybe?
I would move him next to the dirty... I would move him next to the dirty player. Because that way, blocking with the Crocs becomes less scary since the dirty player is already marked.
Okay.
And if you manage to hit the fleshy, then the skink can move freely. But I think that this is really the time for the blitz.
Agreed.
Thanks for the resub, Victor101. Yeah, so not great, but it'll do. So protecting the back is going to be pretty crucial. Protecting the front actually isn't. So you could opt to keep one guy on the wolf and then accept that you're not going to protect the front entirely. Because I'm not really going to be able to get at that. See?
Yeah, unless the fleshy dodges out, I suppose, or the DP.
You've got a tail on them. So
yeah,
I would just,
and then...
Yeah. Exactly, because now at least you're safe with the pickup. I would probably consider moving Lamp 2 to where you want him for your cage, and then do the block first. You can actually just cage from where he is, pretty much. Just take lamp to 1 square to your right.
I see.
Because that way you don't tie him up. And then you've actually got your cage complete. I would do the block first. Because it's, 2 die with block versus a 3+ pickup.
Fair.
It's better. Also, it's a good target. It's a strength 4 and you're hitting him with Mighty Blow. A lot of value in that.
I kind of feel like I could just bring this guy forward to sit on them.
That way my wolf would have a blitz on your ball. If you move in there. Oh, time. Pick up. Oh. Go. Run into the cage. Oh. Okay. Yeah. That's often a thing with these training games. I really wish I could set the turn timer to unlimited.
I know, right?
And as you can see, Calf, it's really not you and your inexperience at Blood Bowl. Because 130 has played a lot and he still lets me talk for 4 minutes straight. Right. So I do think this setup worked, aside from the fact that time ran out. I mean, you had your cage, you had the ball secure if the pickup failed, so I do think it was a solid play.
It would still take you 2 going for it to get the whites nearby.
Yeah. The thing is, my biggest concern, suppose you had put the skink in that cage. I wouldn't be able to get in front of that. You would just have the ability. Now, mostly that's because you had a magnificent round of bash, of course. But from that position, you would be able to go pretty much wherever you want.
Yeah, I see it. You don't really have a good dodge to get ahead of that.
Exactly. So you're in a solid spot. Considering you have 2 turns to score, let's make your life difficult.
I already have 1 ex-wife. Three plus good, GFI good, punch good. That helps. Nice.
Oh, no stun, alas. So you see, I've just left the ball to its own devices and focused on your scoring threats instead.
Yep.
Oh, big break there. Can you guess my next move?
You're not gonna... okay. Now comes the dodge out and blitz with the wolf?
I've already blitzed. I blitzed the tackle on your blodge guy. Now, you've got 1 skink who cannot score in 2 turns.
Are you doing a 5+ dodge with your dirty player? Oh, my bad. 6+.
No, why is that? Oh, he's agility 1. I think that was an agility 1 zombie. I did not realize that. No, I actually rolled the 5 too. Oh,
I know.
Yeah. So that's another thing that I screw up on a lot as well. Yeah, this was definitely the right play though, because if I managed to break armor on that skink, your ability to score would be so hampered. Because now that skink can still get into scoring range, so you won't need to hand off to a Saurus. But because I forgot that he had agility 1, that was actually kind of bad. Okay. So your main priority is getting that skink into scoring range and getting him safe, right?
Yep.
You could opt to put a Saurus in scoring range as well. I mean, scoring with Saurus is something I really like to do usually, especially when there are actual...
Yeah, I've got 2 of them that I need to play Saurus Ball with back in the rel.
Mm-hmm. So I would already know in your case that your blitz is going to be on that tackler, right? Because you need that skink to move. But I might just put my Pomer in scoring range so that if stuff goes wrong, you still have someone to fall back to. 2, 4, 6. And then you definitely want to screen off where the carrier is now. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that skink, actually just having him next to the tackler works. You're going to blitz the tackler anyway, right?
True. At this point, I assume it'd be best just to plan to receive pushes as far as the angle.
Yeah, and then you can punch him again with the Blanky. Yeah. So you don't well, this way you can get 3 blocks, I guess. The problem is now that I would be more concerned about getting the skink touchdown threat blitz than about getting the ball blitz. So you need to get the touchdown threat forward first, right? If those GFIs fail, then you're kind of screwed anyway. So you might as well get him out of the way so that that Saurus can move further.
Sure.
You want the GFI this turn because you still have a reroll, and that way if you have multiple GFIs, you only want a single. 2, 4. Because now 2, 4, 6, 8. Now you still have a reroll for the GFI on turn 8. That looks like a very sensible spot. I could not agree more with that assessment. Because that completes your screen, wide screen, keeps my Mighty Blow, my Strength 4 tied, keeps my... Yeah, my Tackler is going to have to do a 3 plus 4 plus to get to you. And no one is getting to the Blood Skink, pretty much.
I think I'm going to leave the break tackle Saurus and the Crocs just as is.
Yep.
And make the last action my hit on the werewolf.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, the 1 die isn't worth it. The bonehead isn't worth it. Because if you bonehead here, you're going to get 3 dice on that skink that you want to hand off to. And that's bad.
As they say, no bueno.
Yeah, no bueno is a pretty good summary. So... this we're not getting out of. Yeah, I really, really like your screen. Because you've actually set it up double here. You see that? Because you've got the Blood Skink and the Rookie Saurus on the line are doing a very efficient screen together. Very lot of space covered with only 2 players, but so are the Crocs and the Rookie Lino, the Rookie Saurus. Because my fleshy can't get through here, and no one can get through here either. So yeah, all in all, that's marvelously effective. Which leaves me with little choice but to try the 3 plus 4 plus 2 die. Like that.
Nice. Staying away from the sideline so I don't lose that ball yet again.
Yep, absolutely. Well, now that we know that works.
Blitz, pick up, and handoff all with 1 reroll.
Nah, well, the Blitz is safe.
And then a GFI.
Yeah.
GFIs are never safe.
Well, actually, you could hand off to the Saurus and you wouldn't have to GFI.
I respect you too much to use as sarcastic a tone of voice as I would like. However, that is technically correct, which is the best kind of correct.
I've been in situations like that and chosen to do that, but usually in games where I was like, yeah, well, I'm mostly in this for developing the team. So skink touchdowns only count for half anyway. So this would be a 6+. That's a 5+. This would also be a 5+. In that case, I like this one better.
He's the only one not tying an existing player up.
Or we do 3+, 4+, and the GFI.
Although the stand firm would make it pretty difficult for me to get rid of him. And guaranteed I have to do the dodge.
You don't have stand firm on the Crocs though, do you?
Negative.
In that case, I prefer this one. Yeah, I really like stand firm on the Crocs. I actually got a new one for my my lizard team. Oh yeah, I showed you that.
But do tell me more about him, because I didn't look at the lizard team too closely.
So I got him off the transfer market, and he's got block, guard, and stand firm, and that is exactly how I would build a Crocs with a double and 2 normals. So I'm pretty pleased with that.
Nice.
Right, so your problem here is, of course, that you can only blitz one of the 2 annoying people, and both of them are making your die options a 3+, a 4+ instead of a 3+.
At that point, I still might as well blitz the tackle piece, because that reduces the difficulty of 2 die rolls.
Yep, absolutely. Good conclusion. And I'd still be tempted to hand off to the Saurus if this was for sharp life points. Although not to the killer one. I just
stopped myself from moving him to do the blitz because of that thought.
Yeah, this angle works. You're not in your own way. Can you make it 3 dice though? 4, 5, 6, 7. No, never mind. Yeah, actually, you can. If you are not handing off to the Palmer, then you can use him as the last assist to make it 3 dice.
It would be a 4+. Oh, I'm sorry. That'd be a 5+ to catch the ball with the Palmer.
Yeah, and it's already a 4+ for the skink, and he needs a GFI too. It's not actually that absurd. This is a friendly, yes, Crooketry. This is a teaching game. Okay. Although you would need to get the ball to him. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so then the blodge one is actually the one bringing the ball to the Palmer, since he needs a dodge, but not GFIs. Which means you could have still made it 3 dice. At least the dodge, yeah, it's tricky. I think odds-wise, the handoff to the skink, the 4+ is still better. Star player point-wise, obviously, well, blodge skink isn't bad to get sidestep on. Yeah. Handing off to the skink is better, but not by a whole lot, I think. I'm sure.
One way to find out.
I'm sure Squiggy will run the odds for us in a moment. I mean, he does still need the dodge and the GFI. Oh, yes, that dodge, exactly. It's more dice.
Well, we also know that the Saurus handoff would have failed.
Ah, true. Yeah, if he had to make that dodge anyway. Yeah. Ah well. We can run the numbers later. So I have a scoring thread, and I can't believe I pulled off this drive considering the bash, but it was mostly that throw-in that really cost you. Oh yeah, and the fact that you didn't move that guy into your cage because the clock ran out. I'm so good.
Pro skills.
Yeah. Let's keep talking and see if he fails to complete his turn. That might help. So realistically, I'm not scoring, right? So we kill the Crocs. No stand firm means we can punch him next to the dirty player. don't have a reroll, so there's nothing to debate there, really. Agility 1 doesn't matter when you're in the right spots. Not good enough.
But still, for a 1 assist foul, that's pretty nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even need the assist or the dirty player on the armor either. I guess this blitz is worth a try.
Go a little Cass hunting with the tackler.
I even debated putting my werewolf in the end zone just in case this would put the ball there somehow. Would have been glorious, of course. If you just go with this guy, go there or something, and then have a bunch of throw-ins and it winds up in his hands.
Just looking at that gets me PTSD to the werewolf touchdown fouls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've never done one of those, which I'm quite glad about. Right. Second half. How are you doing so far?
Doing good. Good half. Give me a moment. I'm going to refill my water and I'll be right back. Although I'll do you the benefit of setting up my defense first.
Thanks for that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, mighty blow. Wolf stayed out. That's not good.
That's going to help a lot.
And we don't have ghouls. This looks like a rookie Necro team, doesn't it? Oh, you have a full squad. Well, that was not what we were going for. Yeah, defending against the potential of a frenzy blitz obviously means the complete sideline crowding is out. The presence of my guards means flooding the line of scrimmage with your guard and strength is also out. Besides, you only have one guard. Yeah, it's a pity that you have four armor 9 guys that you really want to protect.
Yeah, rule of 5 doesn't work too well with the lizards.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least not with me getting attached to my skinks.
Yeah. Well, it could be a valid option to expose them. Then again, the question is, do you really expect me to use my wolf, my only wolf, who's also a rookie, to blitz them? Because if not, then having your armor 9 exposed isn't really that big a deal.
I expose the skinks and your tackle white starts to have a field day, but
exactly,
it doesn't diminish the muscle that I have remaining.
Yeah. Yeah, and in this case, you know that I have only 3 agility 3s. 2 of them I want to punch with. Well, all 3 of them I want to punch with. The tackle wants to punch the skinks, the claw wants to punch the saurus, and the mighty blow strength wants to punch whatever he can. But I'm going to have to carry with one of them. And the wolf is best suited for carrying. So I wouldn't be fearing the claw too much, because I would be expecting the necro coach, in this case me, to carry with his last remaining wolf.
Well then, we're going to leave the armor 9 up front.
Yep.
And I will be right back.
Sure thing. He said, and went to carry with a tackler.
And back.
Yeah, I decided to punch with the wolf.
But at least it's in an environment where you can control and mitigate the frenzy.
Yeah, not blitzing, which means lesser value targets. So, if you had exposed the skink, it wouldn't have mattered because I would have still used it on the line scrimmage.
So
Carrying
with the star,
4 would have been an option as well. Absolutely, but he's also my only mighty blow. Sorry, your question?
with your star werewolf still out, how fast? Well, given the score is still 0-0, I shouldn't expect you to try and rush this just to get one player back on a 50-50 odd.
Exactly. Thing is, the only thing I hope to accomplish with that is winning the game by numbers. And
well, now that you mention that,
this solves the whole who's going to carry problem, I guess. I get to have all my agility 3 players. That's awesome.
That zombie used to be a beast man, I think.
It looks like it. Yeah. Yeah, there's probably someone in the Reddit Rookie League Masters division going, "Hey, that's my beastman." Or in the Apprentice division, in case Manus gave him to me, but I doubt that.
At some point, I need to find a graceful way to bring that league back. Just is such an admin's nightmare.
Yeah, the whole player trading bit. Or just in general?
Yeah, the trade weeks for the market and the constant reticketing every 3 weeks or every 4 weeks. That was a little rough just to keep everything on schedule. Mm-hmm. And at least before Legendary, when we didn't have custom teams, it was almost impossible to get players transferred over from people who dropped. No break is good break.
Whoops. Let's not do that.
I mean,
Double.
You still could. That's a nice frenzy foul corner setup. I like how that came together.
Yeah, except it didn't, because it didn't. But yeah, the principle was there. Yeah. So the question is, how dangerous is this corner? Yeah, not really. I'm willing to go here with this guy, which exposes the back, but it also adds an assist to this thing, which I kind of like.
Nice. Yeah, and that doesn't expose the back too much. I don't think I really have anything that I want to try and... Anything that can reach that far, I don't want to.
Also, that thing you did at the beginning, where you forgot a player because he was planned to
the white.
planning to pick up, but then you wound up catching the kick.
A running
I may
theme
have
we
just
have.
done the exact same thing. No, he's my safety in case skinks run through or something.
So, I wouldn't mind hitting that wolf upside the face.
Yeah, he's definitely in the kind of spot. I mean, realistically, is there a way to go for the ball?
No, at this point I'm just going to start to get in your way and spread myself out a little bit.
Yeah. So normally in a situation like this, if I'm playing Lizards, I would be looking at where do my 5 guards go? And if you
I got a good spot for one.
if you've never had a team like that, I would recommend building one at some point. Maybe even just build one in Team Editor and have a play around with them, see how they work. if you have like guard on everyone, and then 1 or 2 mighty blow, 1 or 2 break tackle, and a frenzy, so much fun. Anyway, for next time. Where do you want the tail and where do you want the guard? Probably to be friends with each other and probably somewhere in the center, right?
Maybe. I'm debating about the guard still. Also debating about who's going to be the one to hit the wolf.
Are you willing to pile on him there? Because if not, I'd keep the piling on him back and just use the...
Yeah, use the break tackler.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, leave the Lampy until after, because he can move. But yeah, kill the doggo, definitely. See, in this kind of situation, I would probably wait with moving everyone until I've made the blitz. Because chances are that you're going to want the Crocs more stuck in, more in my face than he is now. And after the blitz, you're going to have room to get... You've got like 5 squares in a row that are all connected and that I'm going to have trouble messing around with. See what I mean? Once you've made the blitz on the dog, the Crocs could have gone next to Gravedigger and Black Seed and Crumsley. You could have stuck a guard somewhere around there to make sure Grumsley couldn't knock down the Crocs. And I would have just put a wall of 5 Sauras in there and gone in my face.
And left nothing for the sides?
You've got... No, you just keep one guy in the back to act as a sweeper. But you have to remember, I have the ball on a zombie. I have 3 agility 3s. 2 of which would have been on your Crocs at that point. Or 1 at least. And the other would be prone and hopefully dead. So I wouldn't worry too much about my crazy advancing abilities. I would be worried about making sure that you use your higher strength to get in my face and prevent me from being able to act.
Fair.
Of course, that's a tactic that works even better when you have 4 or 5 guards who can actually make it impossible for me to get my blocks in there. But I think you could have done a pretty good job at it even with this team, just because you have better numbers. Having the Crocs in a good place, having the guard in a good place, would have probably forced me to go into 1-die mode. So yeah, my idea about Lizards playing weakish teams, like Necro, with... I mean, I have 3 strength 4, you have 6 and a strength 5. Oh, time, damn it. Pedos play Lizards? Ah, that's interesting, Nickel Blitzer. No. Those guys at the back aren't actually in too bad a spot.
No, not at all. I wasn't overly concerned about them.
Yeah. So, one issue I see is that you've still left me a relatively easy 2-die claw blitz. I mean, I could just mark the Blanky and the Crocs with 1. With the zombie. And then proceed. What I do like, however, is that you've prevented me from hitting Joe Dirt. Because the first thing I saw here was, okay, I'm going to blitz Joe Dirt with my strength 4. And I was like, wait, there's a skink there who's being really annoying. That I really like that, because he's a rookie, he's expendable. But he, together with the other rookie, he's screening off. In fact, you would be giving me a 2-die into 1-die there because of that. Not bad. So the question is, am I willing to blitz that? Or am I going to kill a skink? And I think the answer is the latter here. Okay, so I saw Calf saying it's hard to do ban on mobile, and for a moment I was like, wait, who are we banning now? But it was just a bot. There's okay. So, since I have the ball on a zombie, which is quite rare, if I were you, I would be looking more towards a passive defense than an active one. So, not necessarily looking for the best opportunity for a sack, but rather looking for a way to just get in my way and make sure I don't get the score at all. Because if the ball was on the werewolf right now, if the ball was on a werewolf right now, you would probably be okay. I gotta get it from him. But the chance of stopping the werewolf is just low. But the chance of stopping a zombie from running it in is pretty high.
Nice dodge.
Yeah, Bransalt Tail doing nothing here. Could opt to go and keep. Yeah, no, not with the ball on the zombie. If you were super eager to really get in my face, one thing you might consider is actually blitzing the crocs into the zombie who's the corner of the cage.
Oh, just to get contact inside with the push or the knockdown?
Yeah, the problem is, of course, that I do have a strength 4 Mighty Blow in the back who can blitz that off very easy. If you had Stand Firm, I would be much more tempted to do that, actually. In this
Although
case,
you using your blitz that far back on the field right now, I'd still be kind of happy with.
Yeah,
at least it would,
true.
But I don't need to do that kind of risk just to slow you down.
Yeah. So I think I would just get in a position where you do like an elf screen, except making sure Frenzy can't hit you, can't surf you, and just try and keep in my way and defend for a couple of turns. So the main question for your next turn is it worth blitzing that dirty player, Infinite Pink, who's slightly out front, to get an extra square of defensive terrain? Or do you want to blitz one of the fleshies, or maybe the tackler? And again, if you have
the fleshy blitzes have, because of Stand Firm, have the risk of it getting thrown back in my face if it goes wrong.
Yeah, well, then you're stuck for a couple of turns. So, again, if you have more guard, I would say blitz the dirty player and actually
pile
stick
in
your guys in there.
On the cage.
Yeah, exactly. But without guard, I would be more inclined to say stay 1 or 2 squares back. True Seed. I don't know if you're keeping an eye on chat, 130, but the Black Seed is saying I might talk a little bit more about my own positioning choices rather than simply focusing on yours.
That's fine too. And no, I wasn't in the stream.
Right. So one thing you could do is use Sidestep Guy on the side. It's scary because he's your best player, and I have a tackler to punch through there. The other thing is just to have your sideline be this diagonal thingy. So with one player, 1 square out from the side, and then the other player diagonally in front of that to keep it safe. Yeah.
Were you talking about like that?
This kind of
or
diagonal,
like
but then,
this?
Yeah, that one. And
yeah,
then the one on the outside is actually the safer one, because I'm not getting a solid blitz in there. So then I put the rookie up front and the basher in the back of those two. Because I don't have the means to go and punch that deep into the side safely. So I'm more likely to punch the guy covering the front. So by choosing those squares, you've actually already kind of chosen to focus on, not focus on the dirty player, but rather to punch one of the fleshies. Because if you wanted to focus on the dirty player, you could have actually put this whole formation one square forward after knocking him down. Is that right?
I don't think I'd consciously made that choice, but that it just became chosen for me.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Now, I would do the punch on the zombie first with your Mighty Blow Garter there. Because then the Blocksaurus can assist the blitz you're going to make. Yeah, you could free the guard. That's true.
Which was actually what I was looking at.
I'd rather just punch with the Mighty Blow, to be honest. You've already got me down on numbers. If you break him, then you've also freed the guard for next turn. There you go. To be fair, this would have still been a KO. Because the thing is, the guard isn't really needed this turn. And having him, having more Mighty Blow punches, I would have probably gone for the inner one. But this works, I suppose.
I was looking at what the shape of the screen so far and what holes I might want to plug. At least that was the thought.
Yeah. Bear in mind what you're plugging it against, right? Look at how far my Agility 3 can go. I'm not running zombies through there. That's the beauty about defending against a team like this. You don't need to worry about the elf bullshit. Okay. Definitely back up. You don't want to be... Actually, you could be next to him. It just means you can punch him next turn without having to assist. And then I'd leave him where he is. I mean, worst comes to worst, right? If you try and free him up and it fails, he's still got break tackle to run off with. Skink would go diagonally next to the other skink, I suppose. Or maybe even diagonally behind the crocs. You really don't have to worry too much about me suddenly switching sides and doing funky stuff, because I just don't have the mobility.
Well, then I could do this.
I wouldn't risk it. I mean, they're armor 9. You've got a numbers advantage now, and I think losing a skink here would actually make your defense harder.
Fair.
That is assuming you're willing to settle for a tie, by the way. I mean, I was talking about defense passive versus active. The downside of passive defense is, of course, you don't score. And for a moment, I forgot that we were tied.
Well, and I still have some time to kind of maneuver around and find a weak spot or see if I can exploit a mistake or a bad roll.
Yeah. But in that case, you're going to want to at least tempt me to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know what? I'm going to risk a little. Because I really want to get stronger on these sides. So I'm going to go here. And then there. And bring my puppy in. There we go. That's convenient. There we dodge back out.
You could stay there if you want. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's a nice square this time of year.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Likewise, by the way. So, if you're looking for active defense, how much of a shot is this really? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You'd have to make 2 dodges with the Break Tacklesaurus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, you could do it with 1 actually. I would be seriously tempted to block off the fleshy with the block guy, and then make the 4+ dodge with the Break Tacklesaurus. Shake things loose. I mean, obviously you want to hit the fleshy on the sideline first.
4+. That's going into 4 tackle zones. Are you looking at going around?
Yep, going around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 GFIs for a 4+ dodge from the outside of the white. And if you mark the white, then you have 2 dice. Only if that block works, of course, to remove the fleshy. Because he's got Sun Firm, so push would mean just doing another plan.
Right, but otherwise I'd have to do something like that if it does work.
If it works, you've got a single 4+. Look, diagonal, diagonal, and then diagonal, forward, diagonal forward, diagonal back, diagonal back. There you go. That's a 4+.
I see. Fair. Hadn't thought of that. Thank you.
No worries. No worries. It's basically thinking like an elf, except with 1 dodge instead of all of them. Because, yeah, an actual elf would just do the multiple dodges. But you don't get those. But shore up the site where I might advance first, obviously, because trouble. Also, I think if the Crocs failed its bonehead now, I would reconsider that plan entirely, because I would be far too worried about the failure. But if he makes it, then you're nowhere near as bad a shape. Also, you definitely want someone protecting that Joe Dirt, because if he stays where he is, he might get surfed.
Yep.
So some form of backup there is definitely definitely helpful. Now this might already do it, especially, or you just pile on here.
Yeah. We'll see about that.
This leaves literally no one for a retrieval option, by the way, because you need that skink to...
I didn't expect I would be able to make the retrieval after this.
Yeah, it's not crucial. I mean, just shaking things up, forcing me to pick up what someone else is already worthwhile. Now the question is, are you willing to send that skink to mark that strength 4 though? Because it's a mighty blow. Tricky one.
I think I need I think I need him on his feet so that he can capitalize on whatever might happen.
Yeah, I think you need him, but it's a tempting one. Thick Skull actually did a thing here.
Well, it is still one of my rookies, so he is a little more expendable than not.
Yeah, and marking one of my agility 3s when you're doing a sack is also not a bad idea. Well, here goes.
Godspeed.
That was the GFI, wasn't it?
It was.
Didn't even get to the 4+. Aww. You snaked the GFI. Yeah, it's one of those moments.
60% of the time, it fails every time.
Yep. So what does this give us in terms of options?
1 skink slightly used.
That's, yes. Now I'm really annoyed that my garters are not mobile. Yeah, we're going to need this. Are we going to 3-die that? My biggest issue is that I am going to have to go and get past you somewhere. And doing so safely is pretty much not an option for me anymore. Let's assume I'm not willing to settle for a tie either, because this drive gets far more interesting if I'm not.
I assume you'd go around and try to wrap past the, like, take down the Blocksaurus by your other fleshy. Either that or you hope for a knockdown on the stand firm guard, but then you still have to do the dodges.
Punching the stand firm guard is not going to do much, because I'd have to crowd around him to make that work. So I'm afraid something like this is going to have to do.
And if everything goes well, end it with a 2-die from a zombie? Or a uphill from a zombie on the Crocs?
Maybe. Yeah, zombies are slow, but, you know, Necro are really mostly a pretty slow team all in all.
Nice.
Okay, that helps. I mean, the wolves are decent, but they kind of have to do everything on the team.
What can I say? I've gotten used to a division where wolves constantly outperform everything.
Yeah, the half die doesn't look that awful, actually. Because you don't have stand firm. If you had stand firm, this would be way worse. Because the good thing here is I get to both protect my wolf and do this. Provided I don't get sent off again. Now, one trick that I really enjoy doing, the problem is the white is stand for, but one trick I really enjoy doing is just trying to see whether I roll a 6 on the first dodge. Because if you wind up rolling a 3, 4, or 5 on a blitz from Blanky, you just go, okay, I'll blitz the white. And then if you happen to roll a 6, or sometimes for the first one, if you happen to roll a 5 and you break free, then you're like, I've still got break tackle. That means I can actually punch the other guy. So declaring a blitz and then seeing how the first dodge goes, and then deciding on the target of your blitz after that first dodge can be a massive asset to using your break tackle player effectively.
Okay, I can see that. Well,
in this case, because the first one would have to be a 6, it's not nearly as good. But if the first one only needs a 5 and still succeeds on a 2, but just doesn't give you the blitz you ideally wanted, it can be massive. So, biggest concern right now is the werewolf. Because a handoff to the werewolf might see me escape somewhere you really don't want it to see me go. Right?
Yeah, and I need to rearrange in case of that. Or specifically because of that.
I would probably stick the Blocksaurus onto the zombie and the fleshy on your left flank. Yes, he's far away from there, but he's also the most expendable and the one you're going to be able to do with least. Because I could just mark him and then he'd still be useless.
Fair.
And so you have another break tackle, right? Or did I remove that?
Removed, I think. Yep, he's gone.
Okay. Can't see. Oh, there he is. So in that case, you're going to want someone to be able to blitz in the backfield, and I guess the Pomer fits the bill. Well, in that case, the block guy could also do it. And then the Pomer can blitz. Actually, no. I think I know what I do. Yeah, keeping the Pomer in the back is fine as a safety. Although, you know, getting him marked sucks, but you can probably prevent that by screening him off with skinks. what I would do is I would blitz the tackle white with the guard, and then stick the Crocs and another next to him. Because right now,
okay.
all three of my agility 3s are stuck together, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Which means if you get the Crocs and the guard on there, I'm really, really worried.
Okay, I can get behind that.
Yeah, I think this is the perfect opportunity to jump in and get all your guys. So the guard would be in the center, and the Crocs would be on all 3 of the agility 3s. The only problem is you're lacking the last strength 4 to go in there. But that's not much of a problem, really.
Not for long, perhaps.
Yeah. Now, I think you're able to see that if those 3 Saurus, or the 2 Saurus and the Crocs had guard, you would have me over a barrel. This would be a lot worse
for you, yeah.
Yeah. This kind of situation is where guard would really, really shine. If you had guard on all 3 of those, I would be totally screwed. And now I might have to resort to one die. So it might be worth marking that zombie. See that?
That one?
Yeah. Because that zombie is able to assist so that I get 2 dice on your guarder instead of 1.
If I do it from here, you'd have to GFI to touch me with after the fleshy stands up.
Yeah, true. Not bad.
Would you just leave Blanky in contact, or use the break tackle to try and loop around somewhere?
50 seconds to think about that. Yeah, if he had guard, I might be tempted.
I could see that.
Probably just leave him. So yeah, now I need to rely on a non-block here. I'm gonna have to be... Suppose I do that and that. Can I then do this? Yes. Can I then do that? Maybe. Let's assume I do at some point. Yeah, so you see how getting stuck in makes my life very, very difficult because of my limited agility, right? And my limited strength and guard. Imagine if you'd done that when you still had those 2 other Saurus. And imagine doing that when half your team has guard. For me, that's how lizards really, really shine. Until, of course, they lose 1 or 2 of their guards and then suddenly everything crumbles. But for a brief while... Oh, I really should have followed that, actually. For a brief while, that can be so good. Oh, Wesley, you ass! Yeah, I kind of needed that, didn't I? I would stand firm here.
Doesn't gain me anything, being as how you've got the zombie behind me still.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you look at the current situation,
stand for him.
Yeah, exactly. You wouldn't get unmarked or force an unfavorable follow-up. I'm afraid this is going to have to be my blitz. Oh, that's a good one, though.
It is.
One. 2, 3, 4. Because now I get 2 dice here. Oops, that didn't work. Because if that had been at least a push, then I would have gotten 2 dice there.
With the werewolf on the Crocs.
Yeah, but now I'm looking at a red die there, which is not exactly what I wanted to see. And now I'm stuck. Now I'm really, really stuck. See that? Because I mean, forward, bad. Sideways, bad. Backward, well, it's a zombie with the ball. It's not a quarterback, so that doesn't work. Backwards here, bad. Assisting here, bad. Because even if I get a knockdown and I don't break armor, you've got an easy blitz on the ball.
Point well taken.
Hey there, Still Virgin. Yeah, the Slaanesh Slaughterers starts from team value 1000. And, well, let's not spoil it if you haven't got a clue what happens. But their first season is pretty interesting. So yeah, this is just going to break armor now, because otherwise I lose. No! Saging failed me. Well, at least the Crocs dies, so that's something. Ah! Right. This is where you capitalize, right? I mean, you've got a break tackle with only a 2+ dodge to punch the ball, not even GFIs this time. You've got your Super Skink able to get anywhere, and you might even be able to screen off a little. Also, because of the numbers, you've got this stunned Garter, you've got this stunned Skink. I don't think you can safely prevent me from advancing. The numbers differential is kind of shifted, which means your passive defense, which you were doing a great job at, wound up not working anymore. And okay. So I think you're gonna have to go for the steal, which has the added effect, of course, of providing potential for a win instead of a draw. You can't blitz from the ideal angle because you can't mark Crumsley to prevent the anti-assist. You're gonna have to push the zombie into the crowd a little bit. Hope for a good scanner.
Into the crowd, or down towards the tackler?
Yeah, I meant into the crowd of my guys, so into the bunch of tackle zones, which are So I think that's the only way you can do this with 2 dice in a sensible manner. Hey there, Pingu. Yeah, so you don't necessarily want to bust through the cage formation. You can also try and disrupt it in a couple of turns by positioning around it. So back to 130. Question is, do you need to move anything before you make the sack?
Feels like there's going to be a lot riding on whether or not I get the knockdown, and I only have 3 other pieces that I can move around. Yeah. So I think I need to do the sack now and then align depending on how the dice fall.
Yeah. Exactly. I think that's the most sensible thing to do. Another thing, do you mind if I address some questions from chat?
Not at all.
Since I'm on the clock. Another thing is, Pingu, you might not need to actually break the formation at all. I wouldn't follow here, by the way. But I guess you probably got that. You might not need to break the formation at all. Simply standing, for example, as Dark Elves. Oh, that's the perfect scatter! Oh, look at that! Okay. Skink through or skink around? You've got sprint sure feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, this is tricky. Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I would be tempted to limit myself to a single dodge. Can you do it without dodging? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's exactly your movement. So you're going to need 1 dodge, right? And I wouldn't do any more than that, because the sprint sure feet means that not only do you have 3 GFIs that are available, but you've also got a built-in reroll for them. And so I would plan for the skink to go and pick up and have 1 movement left to go 1 square behind that Saurus. And then really I wouldn't move the Radio 3 yet, because you need him to screen off. Which means 2 more GFIs, basically. Which would also get in the way if you did them now. See what I mean?
So then the last guy I really have to move before this is Joe, and there's nothing useful he can do for the offensive play except for tie up a zombie or maybe a fleshy, but I don't know if I want to set him
I would just leave him for now and see what you have left after. I mean, if everything goes to shit, then you've got a last ditch defending blitz something. So yeah, this leaves you with Snake Eyes into badly hurt Super Skink. Another thing, you can plan all you want. Blood Bowl is going to come around and give you lots and lots of pain.
We need a different pitch. There's too many snakes hiding in this grass.
Yes, but I hope you at least did see the idea of this plan, because using Sprint Your Feet to make sure you had one movement left to get behind a screen would have been very helpful.
That actually did help a lot. I think I would have done something a bit looser, or it would have become far more potato-y left to my own devices.
Yeah, the thing is, it's very tempting to send Radio out first, because you want him near. But that would mean that once the skink got there, you would actually have a gap and nowhere to hide, because Radio wouldn't be making GFIs.
I have had it with these motherfucking
Right, so the only reason to move him first is because just the simple order of operations of no risk is less risk.
But the thing is, if you fail this, you kind of want him in the back, because now you're happy he's not down there. Because if he were down there with no GFIs, he'd just be behind where the play is going to be, because I'm going to go and get the ball.
Yep.
So yeah, makes sense.
It was kind of because of that I was debating if I wanted to do the GFI with
there's a skink
Blinky
there.
after he blitzed.
Do I want to pick up the ball with this guy? Yes. No, that's not where I wanted to go. That was dumb. Pathing around myself. Cyanide's nice like that sometimes. So that leaves him free to cover this side.
Surprised you didn't use your zombie just in case the first block didn't work.
That was actually my original... Oh, I also... Yeah, I may not be paying complete attention. No, this still works. Still works. The reason I wasn't using the zombie is that you have one skink left. And that zombie is a dirty player. In this case, the skink is actually worth more than the crocs. Usually, I like to prioritize killing the armor 9s if I can, but when there's only one skink left, suddenly he becomes very, very valuable.
Yeah, makes sense.
So I have 2 turns to score from here, which means this white is going to do a lot of running. Yeah, normally I agree, Valena. Normally a block crocs is way more valuable, and I guess not having the wolf next to anyone is also nice. But having the last skink out, it might be a bit late for that, because I've got the ball anyway. But at least I don't have to worry about being scored against now, which is very, very good. You could just choose to take out the wolf.
That's kind of what I was thinking of with the guard piece.
Yeah. Then again, the the Crocs already has the wolf fairly pinned down.
But you have 2 turns left, and you'd have to make at least a couple GFIs if the wolf is not available to hand off to.
Yeah.
So I'd really rather get him on the ground.
Okay. Well, that works, but you'd have to make sure that I can't get safely up front with those GFIs. Because I need to make 3 of them in 2 turns, but you want to make sure that the spot where I do them is not safe for me. Yeah, I don't mind the blitz on the wolf though. It does also put your stand firm next to my fleshy, which actually helps. Yeah, sure. Can see that. So you blitz with the mighty blow. I would just keep radio as a safety. Somewhere I have to at least spend this. Yeah, that's what I had in mind. Good.
First, and then figure out where the break tackle lines up.
Okay. Yeah, probably just on the tackle white. Because leaving that zombie free to move is not that bad, because he can't help up front. Leaving that white free to move is pretty annoying. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, this works. Intuitively, I would be going the long way around to get actually between the prone zombie and the white. But honestly, it doesn't really matter, I think. No, don't foul.
Oh, to try and get there?
Oh, no. Just smack between the 2. The one you can reach without a GF. Oh, the prone zombie. That square. Yeah, that's what I would intuitively do. But I don't see any added value when I look at it analytically. It's just what seems like the best square. Maybe just because it's further toward where I know the play will be.
And it might keep, with the break tackle, it might keep him in the play longer depending on how this goes.
Yeah. So this is an example where if you had rolled a 5 on the first dodge, you might have actually said, hey, you know what, I still have break tackle. Let's just get next to the ball carrier on a 4. Yep. That's always something to keep in mind. So how far do we have to go? At least 1 GFI. And 2 would be even better. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 to be there. Yeah, you can swing that. Yeah, so these 2 zombies are actually making your break tackle relatively useless together.
Yeah, I see that shape.
Kinda need a knockdown here. Don't say that, Sage. That's not the knockdown I had in mind. Well, looks like we draw then. Yeah. The plan was to make those GFIs after this blitz so that I could move there. But I guess...
And I don't have any good ways to even try and free up a Saurus to get downfield as a potential scoring threat.
In this case, none of the moves were safe, but it's more that without the GFIs, I'm screwed no matter what. The thing is, nothing was safe because no reroll and no block. But the thing is, if I fail this block, I'm worse off than if I fail those GFIs. The block was safer, but the failure state of the block was far worse. So yeah. Yeah, but the wolf was next to tail, so it would be 4+ dodge. And no reroll. Yeah, well. Well. Do you still have the theoretical ability to score? Yeah, you do. So do I, of course. Don't I? No, I don't. You could score and I can't. Because that Break Tacklesaurus looks like touchdown material to me. You've got pretty much nothing else to play for.
Fair.
I mean, star player points would be a thing normally, but I mean, yeah, I know that it sounds silly to be planning for, I don't know, a 5+ pickup, 6+ pass, 5+ catch, but I've done those. You know, I'm just going to plan for this just in case moments quite a bunch of times now, and every once in a while they work, and it's so awesome. Blocks. Oh, there we go.
I'll be damned.
4, 6. Yeah. I mean, he's going to have to receive the ball if he's to do this. Not sure I would have made that dodge, by the way. Because without that dodge, you could still score with him. But failing that dodge, you couldn't. And you wouldn't want to... You've only got one reroll anyway. So, you know what? Let's see if you can pull this off, because it would be fun if you could. I'm not going to give you an intercept, because that would be cheating. But I am going to try and... Oh, that is an intercept! Whoops. Well, good luck.
I could choose to skip that if we want to stick with
go
the
ahead.
dodge.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Nope. So, all it needs now is a 5. 3, 4, 5. Oh, he's got movement 5, so that sucks. Using the Crocs would be even worse.
I could clear the way a little bit first.
2, 3. Oh yeah, right. Never mind. He's got movement 5 is enough. Right? So 5+5+ for the win. With the team reroll.
Easy peasy.
It's not that bad. I've done plenty of these. No, not with the Crocs.
I know, but it's almost like having 2 rerolls that both might not work.
Oh, true. He does have pro. Actually, that might have better odds. Because the chance of needing the reroll... I hadn't considered pro. Okay, someone's going to have to run the numbers on that. Because that... I hadn't thought of pro at all. Huh. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. If your next die is so unlikely that you probably need the team reroll for it, using the loner pro might be better than using... Huh. Nice. Alright. So, do you feel like this was useful?
Despite the hesitation, yes. The hesitation was because I'm trying to wonder how long before I can actually, learn from these lessons enough to put them into rotation to say that I took benefit away from it and that it was a net game. Mm-hmm. But even just the observations of what I hadn't considered alone was great. So thank you very much.
Sure thing. I think the biggest thing, I mean, obviously you've already got a ton of coaching skill down, and we're working on some finer points. I think the use of break tackle is something that creates more options when you see them. And get guard everywhere. So
Trust
maybe,
me, I want it. At least now that I learned too late.
Yeah. So maybe what we could do is if you're still up for a next one, because you said you might want to do 2 at some point, I could use my UKBBL lizards in that one, and then you can see kind of the flip side of it if you like.
Okay, that could be fun.
And then figure out what you'd like to play against that, what works for you and stuff. All right.
Sure.
Cool. This was a pleasure. Thanks for letting me do this. It was quite weird for me to be instructing a coach who I know is already at such a high level. So a lot of fun.
Well, thank you for being open to new experiences.
Sure thing. And good luck with the fires and everything. I hope your house and your current places where you're staying all manage to stay safe and stuff.
Yeah, we're keeping an eye on it, and thank you very much. Thank you.
Sure. All right. Good night, 130.
Good night.
All right, YouTube. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, remember to leave it a thumbs up at the bottom. And of course, if you'd like to see more videos, do check out the channel and hit subscribe on your top right.